Hello everyone, welcome to Everyday Essential series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy, where we are going to discuss important topics from the Hindu, Indian Express and other government sources, especially with respect to the prelims perspective. So today let's discuss the topics of 22nd of August 2025. First, we are going to discuss about the Kalo India Water Sports Festival. And second, about the free movement regime. And third, about the International Committee of the Red Cross. And fourth, about the Sustainable Power 1404. And finally, Kenya country mapping. So starting with our first topic, that is Kalo India Water Sports Festival. So with the name itself, you can tell that why we are discussing this Kalo India Water Sports Festival, right? So it's the first edition. The first edition of this Kalo India Water Sports Festival was started in Dal Lake on 21st of August. This is going to run for 21st, 22nd and 23rd of August 2025. And now the Dal Lake is hosting this Kalo India Water Sports Festival. So why we are having this Water Sports Festival? So to improve our ranking in the water sports at the Olympics. Moreover, the most medals will come from this water sports only. So improve our India's ranking in this Olympics in the coming years. We are now focusing on the water sports. And in this 409 athletes will participate from the 36 states and the union territories, which were competing for the 24 gold medals. And in this event, the Madhya Pradesh has sent the largest contingent, that is of 144 athletes, followed by Haryana, Odisha, and Kerala. And why the Dal Lake only? Because these waters of the Dal Lake offer the same setting as in Europe. So that's why we are now hosting this first Kalo India Water Sports Festival in Dal Lake in Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar. And this is the second event of the Kalo India Sports which are happening in the Jammu and Kashmir. So the first Kalo India Winter Games were also hosted in Jammu and Kashmir, Gulmarg. So this is the second Kalo India event happening in Jammu and Kashmir. Remember that. And now here you can see the logo of our this Kalo India Water Sports Festival, which shows the Shikara board, which is the unique of this Kashmiri people, which is made up of the wooden. And next comes the snow-clad mountains with the pine trees. So this is the logo of the Kalo India Water Sports Festival. And now moving to the topics or the details of this Kalo India Water Sports Festival. So it is the first edition of this Kalo India Water Sports Festival organizing under Kalo India Games, right? Now it is Dal Lake is hosting this Kalo India Water Sports Festival in Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir from 21st to 23rd August as we have discussed. And in this two competitive sports are being held, that is the kayaking and canoeing and the rowing. And three demo sports are also being conducted. So these are not the competitive sports, but there are these three sports are the demos. They are showing their capabilities like a entertainment purpose, that is the Shikara race, dragon boat, and the water sky. And coming to the mascot of this Kalo India Water First Festival, it is here you can see this is the mascot of this Kalo India Water Sports Festival. It will act as the ambassador, brand ambassador for promoting this Kalo India Water Sports Festival. Wherever we want to spread awareness about this Kalo India Water Sports Festival, this mascot will be there. This is the brand ambassador. And what is this? This mascot is based on this Himalayan kingfisher. So, which is native to the Jhelum River and the Dal Lake. And this Himalayan kingfisher is known for its high speed, precision, and the aquatic hunting skill. So that's why we put this Himalayan kingfisher as the mascot for this water sports. And in Jammu and Kashmir, there are three kingfisher species. Those are the pied kingfisher, common kingfisher, and the white-throated kingfisher. Remember, in Jammu and Kashmir, we have three types of kingfisher birds. And who is hosting this sports festival? That is the Jammu and Kashmir Sports Council, along with the Union Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports and the Sports Authority of India also. You can see the key facts of this festival. That is the 800 athletes and the officials have been participating, 28 states or the union territories, 100 volunteers. We already discussed two competitive sports being held from 21st to 23rd of August, 3 days, and the three demo sports, that is the Shikara boat race, dragon boat race, and the water skiing also. So now you can see the pictures of the two competitive sports here. So what are those? Kayaking and canoeing. So here you can see it is the kayaking and the canoeing as a one sport. So what are you observing? What is the difference between kayaking and the canoeing? See here you can see that they are operating with a kayak which have the two blades. This is this kayaking sport. And here in the canoeing, we have only one blade for this paddle. So that is this canoeing. So by using these items, this kayak and here canoes, the number of blades indicate or differentiates between the kayaking and the canoeing. For kayaking, we have this two blades, and for canoeing we have only one blade. So by using these equipments, the competitors will sail this boat. And here you can see that is the boat rowing. Rowing, here you can see these are the equipments which are using for this rowing. These are the oars. So by using the oars, they will try to move forward the boat on this water. So these are the two competitive sports. And now coming to the three demo sports. Here you can see this is the Shikara boat, which is made up of wood. And it is special for the Kashmiri people. And here you can see it is the dragon boat. And this is the skiing, water skiing. And now, what are the Scalo India Games? So, this Scalo India Games was launched in 2017 to promote a sporting culture in Indians, and it is a central sector scheme. Until now, these Kalo India Games have been classified into four times. That is the Kalo India Youth Games, Kalo India University Games, Kalo India Para Games, and the Kalo India Winter Games. Now we have one festival, that is the Kalo India Water Sports Festival. And now what is your homework? You have to know about this the lake. Go and search about this Dal Lake. What is the speciality of this Dal Lake? Now moving to the second topic, that is free movement regime. So why we are discussing this now? Because in 2025 February, in the month of February, the Union Home Minister has stated that they are thinking to scrap this free movement regime between the India and the Myanmar. So regarding that, the center has invited the key members of the United Naga Council, which is the Manipur's Apex Naga organization, to New Delhi for talks regarding the government's decision to scrap the free movement regime. So we'll see what is this free movement regime. Actually, this free movement regime is a bilateral agreement between India and the Myanmar. So it existed since the British times, and also in 1963 it was first started as a thought. It existed then also, but formally implemented in the year 2018 as part of India's Act East policy, which will look into its neighbors, eastern neighbors of India. And next, so what is this free movement regime? The name itself tells us that it is a free movement. It will allow the free movement of tribals, that is unrestricted movement of tribals, both from India as well as Myanmar. These tribals, whoever are residing within the 16 kilometer along this India-Myanmar border. So this India-Myanmar border is of 1643 kilometer. So under this 1643 kilometer, whoever is living within the 16-kilometer radius of this border, tribals only, the tribals can move to India and Myanmar without a valid visa. But those tribals should have a border pass which is valid for 1 year. And with that border pass, they can stay up to 2 weeks per visit in the country. So, how many states are involved in this? You can see here Arunachal Pradesh with 520-kilometer border, and then Nagaland with 215-kilometer border, and Manipur with 398-kilometer, and Mizoram with 510 kilometers. So this all makes the 1643-kilometer border between India and the Myanmar. This is about the free movement regime. Now, why the government is thinking to scrap this free movement regime? Because the government is thinking to fence this Indo-Myanmar border to check the influx. Through this free movement regime only, there are so many Rohingyas influx. We witnessed the Rohingyas influx and also the illegal immigrants or the illegal migrants, and also there is this process of illegal organized crime and the spread of drugs from Myanmar to India is also happening through this free movement regime. So they decided to fence this whole 1643-kilometer border. So that's why the center is thinking to scrap this free movement regime, but by having consultations with the key stakeholders. Now moving to the third topic, that is International Committee of the Red Cross. So why this Red Cross is in news? See, we have been witnessing this Gaza starvation crisis, right? So regarding this, many NGOs as well as many UN agencies and other international organizations are speaking about this issue. So regarding that only, this International Committee of the Red Cross has also spoke that Israel's offensive in Gaza Strip aimed at conquering Gaza City is intolerable. This was told by the International Committee of the Red Cross. So we'll see what is this. So it is an international NGO, non-government organization formed in 1863, which is headquartered in the Geneva, Switzerland. It gives the humanitarian protection and assistance for people affected by the armed conflict and other violence. Mainly, it gives the protection to the war-wounded persons, prisoners, refugees, civilians, and other non-combatants of this war also. So its mandate is given by the Geneva Conventions, which has 4 treaties and other protocols. These Geneva Conventions are conventions dealing with the humanitarian measures only. And due to its contribution in the humanitarian protection and assistance for people affected by the armed conflict and the other violence related issues, this International Committee of the Red Cross has won 3 Nobel Prizes in 1917, in 1944, and in 1963. So these are the basic details about this International Committee of the Red Cross. Just to go through this, what is this International Committee of Red Cross? And before also we have discussed about the human rights group, Doctors Without Borders, and the elders group, etc., who spoke on this Gaza issue. And moving to a fourth topic, that is the Sustainable Power 1404. So why this is in news? The Iran. We know that, or we witnessed that the Iran and the Israel went for a war of 12 days, right? So after that war, Iran launched its first military exercise since the end of this 12-day war with the Israel. So we'll see what is the sustainable power 1404. So it is a Iran's regular Navy drill which happens in the Gulf of Oman and the Northern Indian Ocean. So this sustainable power 1404 is a two-trade drill which is aimed at improving the combat readiness and the enhanced command coordination between the personnel of this Navy drills. So what are the equipments involved? There is a surface and the subsurface warships, air units also, and the missile defense system and the electronic warfare brigades has also been involved in this sustainable power 1404. And especially the frigate IRIS Avalon and the vessel IRIS Ganaway launched the Nasir and the Khadr cruise missiles at the sea targets. So remember, this Sustainable Power 1404 is a regular Navy drill by the Iran, which happens at the Gulf of Oman and the Northern Indian Ocean. And moving to a final topic, that is Kenya. So yesterday we saw about the Gabon, and now we'll say about this Kenya moving to the east. You can see Kenya here, it is located on the equator. So it is the country of the East Africa. It is this name, Kenya, was named after the Mount Kenya, which is the second highest peak in Africa. So what is the first highest peak in Africa? That is the Mount Kilimanjaro. And it is bisected horizontally by the equator. And what is the capital of Kenya? That is the Nairobi, which is also the largest city of this nation. And the second largest city of this Kenya is the Mombasa. Swahili is the official language of this Kenya. And coming to the drainage of this Kenya, it has many lakes. That is the Lake Victoria on its west, and Lake Turkana, Lake Naivasha, Lake Magadi, Lake Nukuru, and also the two rivers, that is the Congo River and the Tana River. And here you can see the borders of this Kenya. It is bordered by Somalia on its east, Ethiopia on its northeast, and the South Sudan on this northwest, and the Uganda on its west. And here you can see it's Lake Victoria and Tanzania on its south. Here you can see this Tana River, the Lake Boringo, Lake Turkana, Lake Magadi, and some other things. And it is situated on the equator. So that's all for today. Thank you.